You are the type of owner who genuinely cares about your dog's well-being. You read labels, you watch portions, you do everything right. And yet your dog acts like it hasn't eaten in days, circling the bowl, whining, staring you down 20 minutes after a full meal. Here's what nobody tells you: that behavior might have nothing to do with hunger at all. Your dog may be caught in a dopamine-driven feeding loop, one you accidentally created, and one that keeps growing stronger every single day. This video is for every owner who has second-guessed themselves at the food bowl. You wonder if you are underfeeding. You feel guilty saying no. But the answer isn't more food. It's understanding what's actually happening inside your dog's brain when that obsession kicks in. Because once you see it clearly, everything changes. How you feed, what you reward with, and why your dog will not stop asking. Let us start with the brain. Your dog's reward system runs on dopamine, the same neurochemical that drives motivation and craving in humans. Dopamine doesn't just spike when your dog eats something good. It spikes hardest in anticipation of the reward. The moment your dog hears the bag crinkle, sees you reach for the treat pouch, or watches you walk toward the kitchen, dopamine floods their system before a single bite lands in their mouth. This is the mechanism, and it is powerful. Now here's where it gets complicated. Processed treats, the kind with concentrated fats, sugars, and flavor enhancers, are engineered to hit that dopamine system harder than whole food does. A plain piece of boiled chicken is satisfying. A commercially processed training treat packed with palatability additives is stimulating. Those are two very different things, and your dog's brain registers them differently. Repetitive feeding routines make this sharper. When you feed at the exact same time every day, in the exact same spot, with the exact same sounds and movements, you are conditioning a ritual. Your dog doesn't just learn that food is coming. Your dog learns to crave the ritual itself. The anticipation loop gets carved deeper with every repetition. Over weeks and months, the routine alone becomes a trigger for arousal, for excitement, for obsession. The food bowl hasn't even moved and your dog is already spinning. So what does this look like in real life? It looks like a dog that finishes its meal in under a minute and immediately comes to find you. It looks like a dog that stares at the pantry door for stretches of time. It looks like a dog that responds to the word treat with full-body excitement, even right after eating. It looks like a dog that seems perpetually unsatisfied, no matter how much you've given. That's not hunger. That's stimulation seeking. Biological hunger is a gradual physical signal. It comes from hormones like ghrelin rising in the stomach as energy stores drop. It's quiet. It builds slowly. A dog experiencing real hunger will often lie down, rest, and wait. They're conserving energy. Stimulation seeking looks nothing like that. It's active, it is urgent, and it has an emotional charge behind it. Your dog isn't tired. Your dog is amped up, scanning the environment, looking for the next hit of that dopamine loop. The behavior is driven not by an empty stomach but by a primed reward system. This distinction matters enormously because if you respond to stimulation seeking with food, you do not satisfy it. You reinforce it. Every time you give in to the staring and the whining and the circling, you confirm for your dog that those behaviors produce food. The loop gets tighter. The behavior escalates. And you end up with a dog that seems increasingly food-obsessed regardless of what's actually in the bowl. Now let us talk about free feeding, because this is one of the most misunderstood practices in dog care. The logic seems sound. Leave food available all day, let your dog eat when it is hungry, remove the obsession around mealtimes. But in practice, the opposite often happens. When food is always present, it becomes background noise at first. But then something shifts. A dog that grazes may start checking the bowl not out of hunger but out of habit, out of something to do, out of low-level anxiety. The bowl becomes a comfort object. And for dogs already wired toward food stimulation, Having unlimited access doesn't teach calm. It teaches constant engagement with food as a coping mechanism. Free feeding also removes one of the most powerful behavioral anchors you have, the clear beginning and end of a meal. Structured meal times create a ritual your dog can actually decompress from. There's a start, there's a finish, and then there's life. That structure helps regulate the arousal cycle rather than leaving it permanently switched on. Excessive snacking carries a similar problem. Every unearned treat, every snack given to redirect or distract or simply because your dog looked at you a certain way, adds another node to that stimulation loop. Your dog isn't learning that treats come from effort or calm behavior. Your dog is learning that persistence and emotional intensity produce food. That's a lesson that compounds fast. Here's what you can actually do with this information. First, audit your treat use. Ask yourself honestly how many times per day is your dog receiving a food reward, and what is triggering each one. If treats are being used to stop unwanted behavior rather than reinforce wanted behavior, you are running the loop in reverse. You're paying for the problem. Second, reduce the palatability gradient where you can. If every reward is a high-value processed treat, your dog's baseline expectation rises. Mixing in lower stimulation rewards, including praise, play, and calm physical contact, teaches your dog that not every good moment ends in food, that rebalancing matters. Third, add friction to mealtimes in a constructive way. Puzzle feeders, slow bowls, and sniff-work feeding do not just slow eating down. They redirect the dopamine hit from the food itself toward the activity of finding it. Your dog's brain gets to work for the reward. That engagement satisfies at a deeper level than simply consuming calories, because it mimics the natural foraging behavior that reward systems evolved around. Fourth, stop rewarding the ask. When your dog stares at you, paces near the kitchen, or whines after a meal, your response in that moment is either reinforcing or extinguishing the loop. Calmly ignoring those behaviors, not punishing, not engaging, just not feeding them, is one of the most effective things you can do. It's uncomfortable at first, but it works. Fifth, take mealtimes off autopilot. Small variations in timing, location, and presentation break the rigid ritual conditioning that deepens obsession. You do not need to be unpredictable to the point of stress. Just loose enough that the ritual itself stops being the trigger. Your dog isn't broken. Your dog is responding exactly as a dopamine-driven brain is designed to respond to the patterns you've established. That's actually good news, because patterns can be changed. If this reframe shifted something for you, keep going. Watch the next video on structured feeding routines, because that's where this becomes practical and daily. The more you understand how your dog's brain is wired, the more confident you'll feel making the calls that actually help them. You're already paying attention in the ways that matter. That's the whole foundation. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, scan the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe and join the Possum Life family. Give your dog a belly rub for us, and we will see you in the next video.